Hello guys, hi, this is Ganesh Naik. Thank you for joining us. I'm back with one of my students interview for who have been able to clear the FRM Level 1 exam in May 2022. And today he's going to be sharing with us his experience, his journey, and the challenges that he faced to clear the exam. What was his approach to clear the exam so that the new students who are planning for FRM, they can learn from this, they can change their strategy, and they can also clear their exam. Now, with this, I would like to welcome Nadeem. Thank you very much, Nadeem, for taking out time. I really appreciate this because this is going to help the community to grow and other people to learn from your journey also. So, thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you for having me.
So, Nadeem, before we start the conversation, the normal question that I ask is, can you just give a brief to the audience? What were you doing before going for the FRM? What was your work profile, what experience, and what is your location also?
Sure. So I am a chartered accountant. I did my chartered accountancy from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. I have 6 years of experience with KPMG. I'm an ex-KPMGian, so have a bit background of auditing and working with public industries and all that stuff. So then I moved to here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and I'm currently working as an assistant financial controller here. So my basic work revolves around financial reporting, taxation, zakat, and all that. So I look into that, and plus the regulatory reporting, which is very crucial.
So total experience of how much years?
So now it's about to be 12 years now. So 6 years in KPMG and about to be 6 years now.
Okay, perfect. Now, when you primarily started out with your preparation for FRM Level 1, you must have seen the books, right? So which book will you prefer started your preparing from?
So it was a mix of both. Actually, I wanted to start with the content on book 1 first. So just to get the idea to say, okay, this is the initial introduction to risk management and building on that. But then quickly I realized that the content is a bit scattered. So down the line, when you move to the chapter, so some of the new concepts are there, which are also connected to book 3 and book 4 also.
Right.
And I started to have parallel run of book 4 along with book 1 to say, okay, let me get the concept of VAR and all those different stuffs and DV01 and duration and convexity. So that added to the studying process, and it made it a bit smoother.
Okay. And for the May exam, when did you start your preparation? Which month or date?
Yeah, so if you recall, I connected with you during October 2021 after the September results came in. So I wanted to register for that. And then I asked you for your support to say, how should I prepare and go with that, given the challenges I'm facing with my work. So I was quite enthusiastic about doing FRM because of the content. Why I initially came to FRM, that's even interesting because being a chartered accountant, we are more into the world of debits and credits and understanding how the business and translating that into financial statements. But if you deep dive into it, so our business is about lending and mortgage business primarily. So stuff like securitization, interest rates, that matters a lot. So you would appreciate we have a forum called ELCO, which is Asset Liability Management Committee. And then have all these different discussions about, okay, where are the interest rates moving, how to do, what should be the strategy, how to do the liquid asset liability management, the liquidity management, all that stuff. So I used to hear this, but I couldn't process all this because there was a gap in terms of your accounting knowledge and then this business knowledge. And then I started to have a conversation with my colleagues to say, okay, how can this be bridged? And all I knew was that after chartered accountancy, there is a next step is CFA. That was the max I knew. And then someone introduced me, one of my risk colleagues introduced me to FRM to say, have you ever heard of this FRM? I said, never, no, I have not even heard of it. Then he said, okay, have a go, look into this. This is the website. These are the subjects. And then when I started researching about it, then I got to know, okay, this is something I really want to delve into. I don't want to go to the CFA side, but let me try exploring. And then as I explored it more, I realized that this is a relevant content to me, and it will add to my professional career and my experience as well, because it will connect to me to the parts which I think I'm missing right now.
Okay.
And then I started researching about it, and I studied about it, and then I connected with you as well through one of your YouTube videos. So it was just a random search of searching about FRM content, and then I got to land it to your video, and then I said, okay, this is amazing. And then, that's how I started my journey.
So we
So
started from October end or November mid, right? If I'm not wrong.
yeah, somewhere in the October mid, I connected with you to say I want to pursue, and then I told you my challenges, saying I cannot dedicate full time on it. And then you told me, Nadeem, no worries, give your best, give your 2 hours minimum every day, and then continue with it. I knew that I'll face continuous challenges on this, and I had
Mhm.
even on this attempt, because after December I have literally no time to continue that part. But what was the approach I had is that continue watching your videos, continue watching the content, so that at least my education or I'm doing the progress every day.
Mhm.
So even on my commute, I used to play your either your revision videos or your the online content that we have, so that at least I know that I'm covering something while even
Okay.
on my way to the office, or when I'm coming back. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
little bit of what I was crawling through the subjects. I wasn't being able to catch up as much as I should have, but then eventually I completed my videos content by mid of or March or early March. I don't remember the specific date, but by March, at least I was able to go through the content. When I say I
Mhm.
went through the content, I still had doubts where I think my book two wasn't much. I wasn't much sure on that too, because there are a lot of new concepts in terms of regression. There's a lot of in depth in that time series. Those are
Right.
the areas which require a lot of efforts in order to master it. But I couldn't spare some much time onto it, because I had to continue moving ahead and try to complete the syllabus itself.
Right.
So that eventually I also realized that even if you're stuck at some place and you're not very good at it, but
Mhm.
continue your journey, keep moving. Eventually, either you will get time, come back to it, or you will compensate it through somewhere where you're stronger. So
Okay.
there were a
Okay.
lot of stuff which were very easier for me to understand because of my business knowledge, in terms of the securitization, in terms of the financial markets and products types. So
Mhm.
those were really connected to my business side. So those were the areas where I could easily connect. So
But you
that gave
also
me
had your set of challenges in terms of the content,
yes,
right? So
yes.
like that. Okay. So now you when was so what was your strategy? You were watching the video and solving the question bank simultaneously, or you thought I'll complete the video and go for the question
Yeah,
bank?
I first
Okay.
thought, let me complete the content first. Let me try to understand, and then let me go back to your revision videos to watch that
Right.
along with your videos. So as soon as I used to complete the chapter, then I go back to, because you complete like 2 3 chapters in your revision videos. So
Right.
that was, along with that, I can recall those what I've understand, and then watch
Mhm.
it again if I need to, and then solve the questions.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, primarily, when did you complete your watching of the content? Which time primarily? Which month?
So by March, I had done watching all those videos. I had finished my initial level or first level of syllabus completion. It was done, and then it was only either after that I only watched the revision video, and wherever I got stuck, and then I couldn't score much where in terms of the question banks, then I referred back to the videos if I needed to.
So in the entire month of April, you were just solving my chapter-wise question
Yes,
primarily.
and going through your revision videos wherever I wanted to go through.
So you were able to complete all the chapters, 60 chapters in that April month, or it took some
Not
time, some more time.
yeah, wherever I got stuck, and wherever it was based on the time allocation, how much time I could dedicate.
Mhm.
Also, where I felt that okay, I'm short on these areas. Let me go back and watch the video again and solve those
Okay.
questions.
So it took
So
some
I
time also
mastered
in between.
some core areas which were important. So I know that okay, these are my strengths, and then I can cover good percentage of it, or I can I can excel in that, and then I can leverage on some other topics where I feel it will take more time, but I won't achieve anything.
Okay. 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 And so when did you complete your question bank? Roughly around which date?
So my question bank, I think it went even till the last week, because
Okay.
it really depended on the time, because I used to be off and on connected with the work and the study. So I kept on doing the question banks, and
Okay.
then watching the videos, going back to the revision videos as well, if required. But then it was like something I couldn't keep on having that continuous track, that have that discipline, that I'm able to do it on a daily basis,
Got it.
because of work issues.
And you solved my sectional test, the important
I did
concept?
not. No,
No. Okay.
not
Mock
no.
papers. How many mock papers you were able to solve?
I finished your all mock papers which are there. I
Okay.
think there are four, if I'm
Four.
not mistaken.
Four.
Yeah,
And
I did
the
all
gap
those
sample paper,
GAP sample papers as well.
what was the
So I did.
average score?
My average score came out to be about not more than 50 to 60. So that was the range where I
So
was,
ranging between 50 to 60.
50 to
Okay.
60.
So primarily, before you went for the exam, so you had seen all the video once you have seen the revision videos, you've solved all the chapterized questions and 4 mock papers, primarily. Okay. Now, I'll go to the exam part, what happened in the exam. But before that, what were the major issues that you faced in terms of your preparation? What could have improved primarily?
I think some of the areas where I feel that I could have put in more efforts, and I could have eventually scored better, where in terms of my quartiles. So I got like 3, 3, 1, and 2. That these were my
Hmm.
quartiles.
Okay.
So getting back those results, I thought that if I had given more time and efforts, it could have improved in terms of the results. But the challenging aspect to it was that I some of the concepts were I was personally struggling in terms of, and it was again because of the timing stuff. Had I given it more time, I could have understand it. It wasn't in terms of I was not able to catch it, or in terms of the
Right.
lectures or contents. It was only in terms of my efforts and timing that I could not place it much there, and because of the work thing.
And you're not able to, so like you said, 2 hours, you're not able to do it consistently.
Consistently.
That was the issue. Okay. Now, when you went for the exam, on the day of the exam, what was the date of the exam primarily?
11th, I think.
So it was at the start. It was at
Yeah,
the start of the
in
winter.
the first week. Yes.
First
It
week
was
itself.
in the first week, Thursday.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it
And
was in the first.
the process. So you gave the exam in Saudi Arabia, right? So over there, the process of going, I mean, the center and all that was smooth, or did you face any challenge over there?
No, it's quite smooth here. So it's
Smooth, right?
same as like you register here, you find out where are I think there's only one center here. Every time you log in, they show you the same centers, and then they have the
Okay.
specific dates. So I think they might not have luxury of maybe in India. I think they have like 3 weeks of continuous examination. Here, it's only 1 week window. So you select
Okay.
appropriate time based on that week.
And when you went for the exam on the day, okay, what happened when you started the exam? 4 hours. What happened in the first hour?
Yeah. So as soon as the exam started, I thought, okay, my mind frame was, okay, let me look into those questions first, or those areas where I know that I can score good. So
Okay.
as soon as I saw the first question, it somehow, I don't know if other has the same experience or not, but it quite felt like these were in sequence. So it appeared that book one questions were in first, then it moved to book two. So it was like a sequential progression. And
Okay.
then, and from the experience from the others as well, that this time the examination was more theoretical.
Yes.
So as and when I progressed with the questions, it appeared that, okay, it's a more of a theoretical nature examination right now.
Okay.
And then you face this difficulties to say whether the option I've selected is the right one or not. You have to decide
That is a dilemma, I think so everybody faces.
that. Yeah, because they are so close, you have to read the question twice to say those keywords, except least and all those stuff, and then you come back to your selected answer, and you want to be sure that okay, this is the one, because this is a theoretical question. There is no plug and play here, as you say in
You're
your
right.
videos as well. So those formula driven questions weren't there, so you want to be sure when you're moving ahead. So that was, I think, the challenge I faced. Plus down the line, I think after 1.5 hours or so, I faced a bit of time constraint. I thought like, okay, I'm a bit behind, so I wanted to catch up on questions as well. So I did some
Mhm.
educated guess as well, because you always teach us that do the elimination, the
Yes,
from the option, do the elimination so that you can come to the right answer, and then
correct.
decide from that what it is. So I did bit of that as well, where I thought that okay, I'm not able to get the exact answer, let me get to the answer which I think is the most appropriate in all these. So
Okay,
I did
okay.
bit of that as well,
So you were
in
able
order.
to maintain the speed in the exam in the sense 25, 25, 25 questions in 1 hour.
I I'm not sure of that, but I think I almost like by the time I was done finishing 100 questions, I had only 2 minutes left in my on the marker.
Okay, but you got opportunity to cover entire 100 question properly. You were able
Yeah,
to see everything in that question properly.
yeah,
There was
yeah,
no
yeah.
just guesswork being done.
Not that. And in order to do that, I think your you one of the tips that you give every time is to say, don't look into the bulk of the question, look into the
And
last sentence first,
the last
and
line,
see
yes,
what the question is trying to say you first, and then go to the options and see whether you are able to make up. If there is a scenario based question, go back again and then read through. So half of the time the game is that you read the last sentence, it gives you the question, and then when you try to look up into that, then
mm,
you're able to understand what is the question asking you there. So it gives you a bit of time back.
perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Now, so primarily there was no timing issue as such major. What were the theory bifurcation in your question? Was it 80-20,
I
70-30? What
think
was it?
60 to 70 questions were theory.
Okay, and out of those theory questions, were it very difficult, or was it medium, or is it easy?
It varied from medium to difficult, because some of the question you can answer very well, and then some of the question were like, they were very fundamental, when you start to think on those, like these are like basic things, but the way
Mm,
it was framed is that it really challenges your mind to say, okay, what is the right answer.
got it, got it. And in terms of the calculation piece, how much percentage was straightforward calculation?
So of the, I think 35 or 40 questions, half of it were plug and play in terms of the ECL and the
Mm,
calculation of expected credit loss, and sometimes the VAR calculation. So those were areas that were like quite straightforward. Then it
okay,
came to hedging and derivatives question, and those were the questions where you really need to put some efforts in order to extract the answer.
okay, okay, perfect, perfect. And then when the result came in, what were the quartiles that you got?
So I got 3, 3, 1, and 2.
3, 3, 1, and 2. Okay. And what has been the feedback of people around you, especially the
Oh,
friend who suggested you to
it
go for
it
the
got
FRM?
changed really, really, really much, but it start to give you another perspective, that one of to quote someone, he said that after your part two, you will become a subject matter expert in this. So
Okay,
this is what one of the comments that I got from there. So
okay,
because it now gives you the edge in so many different areas, that people start trusting you in terms of, okay, he knows this, go and ask him, he will get the answer for you.
right. It creates a perception. Creates a
Yeah,
perception, helps you to build your profile like that. And big, primarily corporate is all about that.
sure.
You how people perceive you primarily.
Yeah, and then if something you get a certification or a marker for yourself, then it definitely adds to your the whole perspective of the people, to say he knows the answer, he should know the answer.
And people will listen to you seriously.
I agree.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And now a few three tips for the students who are planning to go for the FRM exam now.
Yeah, it would vary very much if you're a full-time student, or if you're a working professional like me. So I can relate very much to the working professionals. I'm not sure of the full-time, because they have luxury of the time, and then they can dedicate so much. So if you're a full-time student, go through the content as much time, reach as much as possible, try to conceptualize and have the understanding of what they're trying to know,
Right.
so that when you go and familiarize yourself with the question bank as much as possible, so that you're synced with the type of questions and the language of it, and then you get a hang of it. But if you're like like me, you're a working professional, I think to be consistent is a challenge, but that's the key towards eventually the results. Because once you start putting in effort, I think it adds to your momentum and gives you some comfort that
Right.
okay, I am building into it, and then it's coming to me slowly and gradually. So keep moving there, and I think to connect with someone, I think that is which you think that okay, that gives me the timing and I can understand that person. So I told you every time that when I saw your videos, I saw your type of the way you teach, I could immediately connect to you, so that even
Okay.
I'm far here, I could connect. I get my resources, and I said, oh, I want to connect with this teacher, and I want to study his content. So connect to someone that it makes it easier. I think one of the and it just appeared into my mind is that one of the things that you make it easier is that you take the phobia of FRM out of the minds, like me, because when you start reading the content, you see those formulas and say I don't know how to what to think of it. And when you see your videos, and you will upfront say that this is not required, this is not what the institute is asking you, and this is not what the end result is. So understand the concept behind it and just move ahead.
Right.
But if someone like who's doing self study, who would not be able to understand, or at least he'll get stuck there, that what to make out
He'll
of
waste
this.
a lot of time, a lot of unnecessary reading or taking pressure for those things which are generally not tested in the exam
Yes.
primarily.
So
Right.
that will
Right.
help. So connect to those teachers or any person who think you think that you can make a good understanding, and you can flow with his way of teaching. So I found that really important. And then again, all
Okay.
thanks to you on this.
No, thank you. I'm doing my work primarily, so I'm trying to make the exam as much as easy possible for students to clear the exam. Because when I gave the exam in 2014, I realized that how there was no information, there was no classes, even Bionic Turtle was not properly available. So there was so much issues. You could not prepare properly. So I knew what is the challenge that happens, and I prepared on my own. So what is the time commitment needed? What is the learning curve you have to face? So I know it's a pain, and if you don't have a proper resource available, so it's difficult to clear the exam. So the aim is to make sure that it is so easy, so structured in terms of the content that you flow to the content easily and clear the exam. That is what I
And
want
I
to make.
doing a perfect job in that, helping others do
There's still so many things to do. There's so many things to do. I'm planning to bring so many new things now in the FRM level one also to make it very easy for the people to cover the content as much as possible.
Just one
Right?
thing I'll mention there. I want to thank specifically for your level 1 crash course, which is available there. It's a free content for everyone, but it's like the most amazing thing for anyone who wants to understand FRM and go through it. So thank you so very much for that. That
Thank
helps
you.
a
Thank you.
lot.
No, thank you very much. And in fact, it was not at all planned. That
Oh,
entire crash course was not planned at all. And I just thought I'll do something for the exam, the July exam students. And I committed that, okay, I'll do a crash course. And I started and it went on. If you see, there's so many videos. It is not structured. If I would have planned properly, I could have done it in 4 videos or 5 videos. But there are so many videos because I was doing it, managing it as much as possible along with my other commitments. But and fortunately itself, it had helped so many other students also, because on LinkedIn and on my WhatsApp, a lot of people have called me on that day. I was taking an afternoon nap, and suddenly I got a call, and he said, "Sir, आप मुझे जानते नहीं हो, but आपका मैंने क्रैश कोर्स देखा है, मैं पास हो गया करके." So that was a wonderful feeling. I mean, और मेरा नींद उड़ गया, अरे कौन कौन हो भाई तुम? Like that. So that was a wonderful feeling, definitely. And it helps. And I'm not removing it primarily. I'm planning to do something else also this time to help the students to make it easy for them to
That's
clear.
helping a ton. I mean, you can refer back if you want to, watch something
Hmm.
else, but that is helping everyone. At least I know I have referred to those videos to so many people, even after my exam and during exam as well, to say if you want to, get a glimpse of how FRM looks like, and if you want to go through it, then
Right.
here you go. These are the free videos available there.
Yeah, they
I
can
have
they
a
can actually get the idea of the content and they can take a decision.
yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. Wonderful, wonderful, Nadeem. Thank you very much. I mean, Nadeem, taking out time and sharing your journey. It has been really, really interesting. And this is going to be very helpful for students to look up and get motivated. I mean, working professionals, they have many times saying that I don't have time. I cannot do this. I don't have time. But that is the problem with everybody. And people are clearing the exam. So you can also like that. So primarily, your interview is going to be motivation for those working professionals to come back and start their learning, upskilling themselves and do FRM and clear it in the first attempt. So thank you very much, Nadeem. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you very much.